Hey everyone. Well, you saw my video on top 10, the ranked decade of the year of the 2010s. You saw me doing a ranking of every year of that decade. Well, I decided that after that, I'm just gonna stop, not continue on, and just make one more. Now I'm going to be ranking every year of the 2000s decade. And after that, I'm done with it because honestly, I just don't think this was really as fun as I was thinking about. I thought it would be more fun to do, but it kind of just went all over the place. So I'm going to try again with the 2000s, ranking every year of that decade based off of the films that came out. And yeah, the same rules apply. It's just, the variety of great movies that came out each year and, how many great ones there were, what the great variety is of fantastic films, films I love, films that are not objectively the best, but I think really do have a great thing going for them. So if you get it, then good. Maybe this won't be as bad. But if you don't get it, then there's a reason I'm not gonna do more of these. So now I'm just gonna be ranking each year in the 2000s, and after that, I'm not really gonna be doing any more of these.
Starting off, we have the year that I was born. Yes, 2005, the year Ike was born, happens to be the weakest year of the decade, in my opinion, in terms of movies at least. Yeah, I might being honest. Out of all the films I've seen, it's not a bad year. This was still a good year for films. I'm impressed with the amount of movies that come out this same year. We got Batman in his first ever new adventure. We got to see Star Wars in its third and final installment in the prequel trilogy that everyone loves. We got Vendetta, which was cool. There was trying to think more stuff there. There was a couple ones. There was 40-Year-Old Virgin, fun comedy. Other than that, though, 2005 was kind of just one of those good years for me in terms of films. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, this list is based off of how the years were in terms of what movies came out, and 2005, in my opinion, worked well. It did have those great movies. Other than that, though, it was still just sort of the weakest year of the decade, honestly. I mean, even though it was the year I was born, and it's cool to know what movies would come out that year, it just isn't as great of a year for cinema as some of the other years of the decade. 2003. This year had a pretty good amount of stuff. We got to see Finding Nemo, which was a fun tale. We got to see Kill Bill, which was good. There was Pirates of the Caribbean, which was also about as good. There was Tim Burton's Big Fish. There was Elf. But of course, the best for last, we of course have to mention the iconic, amazing Lord of the Rings Return of the King. The finale of the trilogy, one of the best movies ever made, and not just for my opinion, it really is one of the best films ever. It managed to win an Oscar for Best Picture, which is rare for those kind of films, but boy, it deserved it. It's such a masterpiece. But yes, other than those films, that's kind of about it. 2003 was a good year too, but again, other than Lord of the Rings, Finding Nemo, and all that, the year alone was just kind of plain good. A good year, not nothing amazing in my opinion, but hey, like a lot of years, I do still need to check out more movies, so maybe my opinion on that will change later on. Just for now, 2003 is number 9. It's a fun year of the movies that did come out, but for me right now, there are a couple more that could have been released, and that's what makes some of these other years of the decade a little more fun. Yes, 2002. The year before, where we got to see The Lord of the Rings second installment, which is the weakest in the trilogy, but it still is a fantastic movie, so I really don't think it's fair to call this movie weak in any way, because it's still amazing. There's also Steven Spielberg's Catch Me If You Can. There was Jason Bourne's first film. There was the animated film Lilo and Stitch. There was Spider Man, yes, the Spider Man in his first cinematic adventure. There was Attack of the Clones. Actually, I don't really consider that as part of the best, but still, yeah, those are the good ones. 2002 is a tad better with, the better amount in terms of movies. I mean, just there's a better amount of great films I've seen that year than 2003, but overall, it is still just number 8 because, 2002 has its great ones. I did name the ones I like the best. But other than those films, it's kind of just another one of those simple years. And nothing too special in my opinion. It's a basic year of cinema, nothing great, but still worth noting for what good movies did come out. Ah, yes, 2009, the last year of this decade where we got to see some new exciting stuff to introduce us to newer times. There was Pixar's Up, which everyone loved. There was Quentin Tarantino's Inglourious Bastards, which most people loved. There was Avatar, which I loved. And, see, trying to think what else was there. See, it's kind of hard to pick when you get your own mindset going on for someone who has seen a lot of films. 2009. That also had there was Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. It's worth mentioning, in my opinion. It's a weird movie to bring up as part of the catalog, but hey, it's just something about that movie I love. And yeah, those are some great ones. Yeah, I think 2009 does have a great amount of films. Those movies are fun. Some movies I enjoy more than others, and the ones that are great are definitely a fun watch, in my opinion. So yeah, I think 2009 definitely holds pretty well, and definitely holds up. A lot of the movies that come out this year do age pretty well. There's stuff you could see today, although more advancements and over excessive of people liking AI is a problem. But still, the stuff that did come out, I think, does help prove the case of how fun this year was. And hey, I had fun too. That was the year I kind of started getting introduced to more stuff. I think 2009 might have been the year I was starting to grow more into the culture. I was starting to learn more music and stuff to come out. That was the year I got into the world. Years prior I was kind of just young and careless, but I think around 2009 was when I started real seeing stuff coming out, seeing what's going on, and yeah, from that moment I think I've realized what world I'm living in. I just wish I knew about Michael Jackson's death, though. That could have been something fun to know, but I was too young to care. So, oh well. On here we have 2001. In terms of movies, there are a lot of great ones. There's of course the beginning of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, a most amazing film, Fellowship of the Ring, which in every way is awesome. There is Pixar's Monsters Inc., which is also a pretty great film. There's Shrek. Everyone knows what Shrek is. It's not something that needs to be mentioned. Let's see, what else is there? There's A Beautiful Mind. Honestly, that's nothing great, but still a fine movie. Um, and yeah, those are the great ones. I think 2001 was a very fun year. I gotta say, it was a pretty noteworthy year to remember for this decade in terms of movies. Now, honestly, most people who want to talk about 2001 overall do remember it for, of course, the whole 9/11 stuff. Yes, we all know about 9/11. It's tragic, it's sad, and this was the year that pretty much changed America. After that happened, everyone wanted to try and keep America's spirit as good as possible. So, any movie to come out after the events wanted to try and make sure they respect the country as well as they could. Now, granted, I was not alive when it happened, but my parents were. Funny, 2001 was also the year they got married, so yeah, that's something to know about. But yes, they did tell me how they reacted during this event, and I can understand the pain. I probably would feel it too if I was there, but I wasn't, so I can't say, oh, I feel them. But I certainly can understand how tragic it was and how watching these movies was definitely something more people wanted to try and do with an open mind. So, yeah, that's what we got. We got movies that give us a beautiful. I'm not gonna say that they're fun ones. Okay, Lord of the Rings came out around December, I know, and so yeah, I'm sure a lot of Americans must have really gotten the hopes for their country back up after seeing that. Again, I could be wrong, but hey, Lord of the Rings is too perfect for anyone to dislike. Yes, here we have 2006. This year, we got to see Martin Scorsese's The Departed, a interesting story that's definitely worth watching. We got to see Daniel Craig pull off a new type of James Bond that I heard a lot of people were not into when they first heard about his casting, but when the film came out, it seems Daniel Craig just redefined the character, and Casino Royale was acclaimed. And I can agree, it's definitely a pretty great Bond film. Or there's The Prestige, the Christopher Nolan film. Yeah, I had to take a moment, but yes, probably one of the more forgettable Nolan movies in my opinion. It still is a pretty great one. Um, what else happened? Ooh, Cars. Okay, Cars isn't amazing, but it still is a good movie. So yeah, Cars came out this year, and that's a good movie. Yeah. Um, Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think that's probably all I can think of in terms of what amazing movies there were for me. Um, but yes, those are great ones. Oh, I forgot to mention Rocky Balboa. That's my favorite movie of the year. How would I forget to mention it? Well, I don't know. I just have to keep thinking. But yes, Rocky Balboa came out. That movie's awesome. I love it. It's one of the best sequels I've seen, in my opinion. And yes, because of those movies, you got a lot of fun in 2006. This was my first full year growing up. I was only like 0 to 1, so I knew nothing about what came out. I didn't know anything about this happening. I didn't know about Pluto becoming a dwarf planet. I didn't know about Steve Irwin's death or any of that stuff. All I knew was when I can get my new pacifier. But hey, looking back, all the movies I've seen are a lot of great ones, and yeah, it's definitely one of those years that you really do like to look at with an open eye for what did come out, and not much of when it came out or when you saw it, but more so of what movies they are and what movies you can enjoy watching now on TV, or even if it comes back to theaters. And here we have 2008. Oh boy, this year was fun. This year we got Iron Man, the beginning of the MCU, and a movie that's pretty epic and exciting, I must say. We got to see Wall-E, another awesome movie, probably Pixar's most beautifully animated film. We got to see Tropic Thunder, a comedy that we sadly won't be able to see be made these days, but we're still proud to have for its time. And then, of course, there's The Dark Knight, one of the best movies ever made, a true masterpiece of superhero cinema. It's Everyone knows about The Dark Knight being such an acclaimed film. It's definitely worthy of that title. The movie is pretty damn amazing. And yes, I do agree it deserves that title because, yes, it's a great film. There's the Oscar winner, Slumdog Millionaire, which shouldn't have won against Dark Knight, but still is a great film, so I'll give it that. Yeah, 2008. Those are all the great movies I saw that year, and it really is a fun year. Well, I forgot. Oh, and there's also Kung Fu Panda. Can't forget that, can I? No, I can't. Yes, there are a lot of great ones. Mostly action, exciting movies. I think that's the best way to describe 2008. Movies that are vast, exciting, whether in the best way or the worst, because there are still some bad ones that come out. I think Disaster Movie came out this year, and that is, to me, the worst movie ever made. It's my top least favorite movie ever, and Habit came out the same year as Batman. So sad to think about it, but that's just how it is. Still, other than that movie, the movies that did come out this year, the ones that were great, really were ahead of their time. And here we have the first year of the decade, the first year of the century, the first year of the new millennium, the year that everyone was scared of because of the whole Y2K bullshit. 2000, yes, such a big epic year, I must say. I can't say that because I wasn't born that year, but in terms of films, we did get a lot of great ones. 2000 was when we got Gladiator, which is an awesome standalone film. It didn't need a sequel. The sequel was bad, in my opinion. We got to see Almost Famous, a fun drama story that I enjoyed watching a lot. There was Snatch, a action crime film that was pretty good. There was Emperor's New Groove. In term world of animation, that movie was great. And then there's Christopher Nolan's Memento, an awesome film, definitely one of his all-time best works. It's a must-watch for those into the action or Nolan's films overall. And yes, we got those films. We got in comedy Road Trip. That's probably one of my favorite comedies of the year. And yeah, I'm trying to think. I think that's all I could think of. But hey, I did get some great names out there, didn't I? I named a pretty good amount of the best movies of this year. I mean, yeah, 2000 is a pretty great year for film. People didn't rely too much on making movies look futuristic because it was a futuristic sounding year. They just made movies the same way they made movies prior, only I guess with a little more spice to them. And because of that, movies like Gladiator or Memento exist, and we could be happy about that. Yeah, I certainly could be happy about it because these are some pretty fun movies, and the year really is fun. I probably would have fun with it, but I wasn't born, so I can't say anything about how great it was for living in. Yes, 2007. Now this year, let's see what we got. We got No Country for Old Men, a pretty fun tale. We got Ratatouille, Pixar's magnum opus. Well, kind of. It's a great movie, but It's not one of his best. It still is great especially for its time. We got Superbad. Oh, that's a great movie to watch. We got Into the Wild, the most recent movie I've seen of this year, and probably my all-time favorite of the year. Now, after watching it, I already considered it an instant amazing film. It's a masterpiece, honestly. And yes, these are the movies that really shape up for this decade. This year, I think, probably defines the decade the best, in my opinion. Either that or 2009. In my opinion, it's either 2009 or 2007 that defined this decade because, in terms of movies or even other stuff, TV shows, songs, all sorts of media, this was the year that we really did get the kind that many people like to call the 2000s off for. When we think of the 2000s, we think of Superbad, right? Or at least I do. We think of Ratatouille, maybe. I don't know. Still, I think this year sells out the decade pretty well, and it was close to being the best year for film of this decade. But, you know what? My pick is 2004. This is the year my sister was born. I don't know if I told you this before, but my sister was born on my mom's birthday. Yes, my mom and my sister share a birthday. I'm not kidding. That's really what's going on here. Anyway, in terms of movies, we got Eternal Sunshine, The Spotless Mind, Million Dollar Baby, The Incredibles, Kill Bill Volume 2. Kind of can name, but I can definitely name a bunch because I've seen a bunch. There was, I'm trying to think top of my head. Shrek 2. Yes, Shrek 2 came out. Ooh, SpongeBob's movie came out. That was a fun one. Euro Trip. That was a good one. Napoleon Dynamite. Anchorman. I mean, there were just so many great movies. The Butterfly Effect. It's a big, vast variety, in my opinion. It's one of the best years for cinema of all time, in my opinion. And funny, my sister came out this year too, and hey, her movie Mean Girls came out too. And yeah, Mean Girls is probably my sister's all-time favorite film, and she was born with it. But yes, out of every year, 2004 is the year that I think has the best amount of cinematic achievements in films. And there's still more I forgot the name. Spider-Man 2, yeah, there was one I forgot to mention. I'm just going to keep going off. If there's any I think of, I'll spit them out. Harold and Kumar, yes. That came out that year. White Chicks. It's a good one. I think I've gone good. Yes, you get the point. I've seen a lot of amazing films of this year, and I think with how many great ones I've seen and how many more I will plan to see, this 2004 is a great year for cinema.